Have you ever wondered why certain things happen to you? Like sometimes you feel like everything's working for you, while at other times you feel like everything's working against you. Have you ever questioned what luck is? Like some people tend to be lucky, while others are not. Why do bad things happen to good people? And why do good things happen to people who are corrupted? Why do certain thoughts keep on looping in our mind? Or why do certain situations keep on repeating again and again? Like out of millions and millions of people in the world, why is it that we meet certain people at certain point of time in our lives? Have you ever questioned the truth about free will, fate, or destiny? Why is it so difficult to come out of certain habits? It's not just about drinking or smoking, even about small things in our life. For example, let's say you want to stop being lazy and work out. Maybe you are able to do it the first day, the second day, but the third day you're off track. Now, if you're a person who has strong willpower or motivation, you may be able to nail it for a week, but the next week you're back on square one. So there were so many questions haunting me in my head until I understood the word karma. Now, the word karma is widely used today around the world, from traditional cultures to pop culture. The word karma has been used all around the world by all sorts of people. It has even gotten into the dictionaries. Now, most people think karma is like a reward punishment system where someone is keeping track of our actions and giving a reward or punishment based on the actions. But as of my understanding, it doesn't work like that. The word karma stands for action in Sanskrit. Now, Sanskrit is an ancient language that has prevailed in India, so karma in Sanskrit means action. Hi, I'm SreeLemi, and I'm just a person trying to figure out things in life. So, this is episode 1 of my new podcast, and in this podcast, I will share with you my knowledge and understanding about karma.
This video is gonna be a bit long as I want to explain it in detail. If you find the pacing of this podcast slow, I would recommend you to watch it in 1.5x speed for better experience. Disclaimer: whatever I'm saying in this video is my interpretation of information gathered from different sources, and I don't claim to be an expert in this topic. I'm just sharing my interpretation of the topic. And I recommend you to watch this podcast till the end so that you can understand it fully.
I used to be a person who was not interested in temples, gods, scriptures, or any kind of traditional belief systems, superstitions, and all that until the COVID lockdown period, where something happened and I really got interested into this topic. And I watched video after video on this topic, like the scriptures, like what is this? Like what is actually happening in this world or in this universe? I was interested in it. I read books, I watched a lot of videos, like did some research, and today I'll be sharing with you my understanding or my perception about karma. When I started getting an idea of what these things are, how the world works, it literally changed my perception of how I see things in life. And it really did benefit me in my personal growth. And so I thought of sharing my perception, my understanding of karma, hoping that this will change your perception of looking at life and it will help in your personal growth. So you may find some things discussed in this podcast hard to digest because this may be an unfamiliar subject to you. Now, if you're a person who's really skeptical of everything and has no patience, then I would say watching this podcast would be of no point because you will just get defensive and miss the point. And I hope that's not the case with you. I believe that you are open minded and have the patience to look at things and see what I'm trying to explain or to see how looking at things from a different angle can make yourself better. As I mentioned before, karma is not really a reward punishment system, but we can look at it as a series of action and consequences. Now, if you look around the world, you'll see that for every action, there is a consequence. For example, let's say if I push a ball or anything else, then that thing or that ball will start rolling, right? As a consequence of pushing, it will start rolling. Now, similarly, if I pull a chair, a table, then the table or chair will move towards me. So in response to my action of pulling the chair move towards me. So every action has a consequence. Now, this consequence may not be just one consequence, but it may have ripples of consequences. So another example that comes to my mind right now is that, let's say today is a very sunny day. Well, because it's sunny, the temperature rises, and because of this rise in temperature, the water vapors in the atmosphere heat up and create a low pressure here. So because it was sunny, as a consequence, the temperature was raised, and because of raised temperature, as a consequence, the water vapors got evaporated and created a low pressure. And because of this low pressure, the air from different or high pressure areas start moving towards this area, causing winds.
The rising temperature not only causes the air to get heated up crossing low pressure, but also it causes the water bodies to heat up and the water vapors rise, creating clouds, which later on condenses and pours down in the form of rain. So one phenomenon or one action can have multiple effects or consequences.
Right? You can see that every action leads to a consequence, and that consequence itself leads to another consequence. So it's a series of action and consequences. Action and effects or action or consequences. So if you take another example of how human beings are, let's say you saw a person who is in need, who needed help, and you help that person. Now, when you help that person, you might feel happy, like you might feel fulfilled. So you will have some kind of feeling, right? And have a thought or a feeling. So this feeling is imprinted in you. And so the next time you see someone in hell, automatically you have this tendency to help that person because you know that last time you helped that person, you felt good. And there is this memory in your head. It's not just in your head, but in your body. This memory lies in your body. And because of that, you have the tendency to help the next person too. Your action of helping someone has a consequence on you. See, there is an external consequence that is how the other person felt, but there's a consequence on yourself too. That consequence, you can call it an imprint or you can call it a memory. So this imprint is actually what is called as karma. Now, whatever specific information I'm giving you about karma is based on this book here. So, Karma, a yogi's guide to crafting your own destiny. So karma is like a software that is running you. For a software, there's a number of instructions, and this application works based on this instruction, right? Similarly, we function based on our karmic software. Now, karma means action, but when we say karma here, even inaction is action. Not doing action is also an action, right? For example, you decided to do something, or if you decide not to do something, is both actions, right? If you look at the mental level, we see that if you think about something and if you try not to think about something, again, there's some kind of thought going on. Everything that you do or don't do has an effect or an imprint on yourself, and this constitutes the karma. Karma is unconscious. Now, we are performing tons of actions, millions of actions every moment of your life that may be unconscious. Most of the time, it's unconscious, it's subtle, that's why you don't even notice it. It's not that you have to physically do something. So, everything that you see, everything that you hear, taste, smell, touch, everything is an action and has an imprint on you, has a memory on you, right? So, karma is unconscious and it's compulsive. Compulsive means you are forced to do it because you develop a tendency to do things. For example, let's say you drink coffee in the morning. The next day, at the same time, you would have this tendency to drink coffee, right? You want to drink something, right? Today, when you drink coffee, some kind of imprint is in your body. It's not just in your body or mind, it's in your whole existence. There are different layers of karma acting on yourself. The yogic tradition classifies the human body to different layers. Like, first is the Annamaya Kosha, which means the food body, that's the physical body. Second is the mental body or Manomaya Kosha. Or third is the energetic body or Pranamaya Kosha. Then we have the etheric and bliss bodies. This karma is acting not just at the physical or mental level, this memory is really deep in you, right? You may not be conscious of it, but it's really deep. So because of this memory or karmic memory, we develop tendencies. So you perform an action, because of that, you have an imprint on yourself, a memory. Because of this memory, you tend to perform this action. So there's kind of tendency. When you do the action repeatedly, you'll develop this tendency, and this is what leads to addiction. You'll see that you drink coffee for 1 week, then the next week you have to drink coffee because otherwise you'll get a headache, your body responds differently. You have this tendency to drink tea, right? That's what happens with alcoholic addiction, drugs, or any kind of addiction. Even habits are kind of an addiction, right? Even habits are because of this karmic memory. Once you do it, twice you do it, then the third time you don't have to think; it just happens. Like your body moves without you thinking, right? So it's because of this tendency.
Karma is unconscious, compulsive, and cyclical. You might have noticed that certain situations and people, some kind of relationships keep repeating in your life. Maybe the people are different, maybe the place is different, but the same or similar kind of things keep happening. It need not be negative things, even positive things keep happening again and again. Like things keep looping, be it negative or positive, because negative and positive is all our perception. Right and wrong, negative or positive, success or failure, all depends on how you view it. Like someone's success might be a failure or a negative incident for you, while what someone considers to be failure, it might be something that you consider as success. But you'll see that certain things keep repeating again and again after a period of time. So things keep looping maybe after a few days, maybe a few weeks, or maybe after a few months or years. If you have really observed yourself, you'll notice it. And if you have not noticed this, I want you to look back and see if any such pattern exists or not.
Now the answer to the question of why we meet different people at different point of time and why we are at different situations at certain times is again karmic memory. In Sanskrit, this karmic memory is again referred to as Vasana. Vasana means smell in Sanskrit. Now, this term is used as a metaphor for karmic memory. If you smell some way, like let's say there's a flower that gives off a certain kind of scent, then certain kinds of insects come to it, right? So, as a metaphor to this phenomenon, this karmic memory of a person or karmic tendency of a person is termed as vasana. So, because of a person's vasana or karmic tendencies, that person tends to attract certain kinds of things into his or her life. For example, let's say because of my wasana, I happen to make this video and upload it. And because of your wasana, you happen to watch this podcast, right? That's why certain people act certain way at certain points of time. Like someone may be angry at you, they may be yelling, they may be saying things, or sometimes they may be happy. Anything and everything they are doing is because of their tendencies. So it's because of their karmic memory, karmic tendencies, their vasana. That's why they are doing things they are doing. So they are doing what they're doing because of their karmic tendencies. And the main thing that I intend to tell you with all this information is that whatever is happening to other people or whatever is happening outside you is because of memory karmic tendencies. Now they're doing what they know best. How you react to others or external situations is your karma. If someone shouts at me, I can yell back at them, or I can be calm and understand that they're doing what they had to do is because of karmic tendencies. I become conscious of how I'm feeling. Like, let's say I'm getting angry. I have to consciously observe how this feeling is coming in. When I've observed, it just fades away. So let them do what they're doing because it's because you understand that it's because of their karmic tendencies. You can't do anything about that. But one thing that you can do is to observe yourself and to control or see how you respond to others or external situations. Now you understand that it's your responsibility. Whatever is happening to you is based on your karmic tendencies because of your actions or inactions that have been done consciously or unconsciously. So whatever you're facing is because of you. Whatever you have done it, right? So if I'm facing something, it's because of me. If you are facing something, it's because of your unconscious or conscious actions. It's a result of your actions. So you don't have to blame others or other people, other situations, your parents or your friends, or you don't have to pass the buck to anyone else but to yourself. You have to understand that whatever is happening to you is your own responsibility. It's because of your own actions and take charge of it, right?
And again, it's not just about negative things or problems.
And even what good stuff happened to you is based on your own actions or inactions. I guess that explains what's called luck. Like you feel like you didn't do anything, but you happen to be lucky to get certain things. Maybe you didn't do anything consciously about it, but unconsciously you are working towards it. Now, another interesting thing about karma is that your intention behind your action decides the type of karma you acquire. For example, one example that's being said in this book is, let's say, like you stab someone and this happened unintentionally. Like you didn't mean to do it, it just happened. When you do that, there's one kind of karma. Now, let's say you're doing the same action, you're stabbing that person intentionally. Like you hated that person and you just hurt that person intentionally. Now, this leads to a different kind of karma. Now, let's say you hate this person, but when the person comes, you're being nice to the person, you're talking nicely, but in your head, you are trying to hurt that person, stab that person a million times. Then again, it leads to a different kind of karma, a different karma with more impact. Now, for the other person, he has no bad karma because when he or she sees, it's like you're treating them nice. They can't read your mind, right? But for you, you have been thinking 1,000 times of how to hurt this person, so it gives you karma for you. Now, karma can be classified into different types based on the type of action or the source of this karma. This book describes that there are 8 dimensions or of karma. They are elemental, atomic, evolutionary, genetic, karmic, sensory, articulate, and inarticulate. Now, the first four, that is elemental, atomic, evolutionary, and genetic, are in a way that our personal volition or our personal choice doesn't matter. It because it just exists as it is because of how the creation has happened. So you have no choice, or it's not based on your personal choices. But the other things that I mentioned are based on our personal choices, personal decisions, our personal actions. Now, if you want to know more about this, I think you should try reading this book because these things have been explained in detail in this one. Some of these are self-explanatory, like evolutionary and genetic, because of the process of evolution and because of genetics, like DNA from your parents and your forefathers, right? And elemental means, like in the traditional culture, it is said that everything in this universe is made up of 5 elements, like fire, water, wind, earth, and space. So the karmic associated with these elements is what's referred to as elemental karma. If you want to know more, I think you should read this. You don't have to be overwhelmed by all this categorization. My aim here is just to give you an idea of how things are and to change your perception a little bit, and so that you can focus more on yourself and avoid blaming others. Now, again, karma can be categorized into based on when this karmic memory or karmic consequences come into play. According to the timeline, it can be classified into, so they are Sanchita karma and Prarabdha karma. An English term for that's used in this book is accumulated karma and allocated karma. So that's when it comes in the concept of rebirth. Now, you may or may not believe in the concept of rebirth. Like, there's no complete or solid scientific evidence of whether this rebirth is real or not. But this concept of rebirth has been there in most of the Eastern countries, like in India, Japan, Korea, China, and all these countries. If you have been watching anime or K drama or any kind of Eastern entertainment shows, you might be familiar with these concepts. And the point is not to believe in something, it's just that this concept of rebirth and death has been the main pillars of what is called spirituality. It is said that we are trapped in this loop of samsara. Samsara means like we are stuck in this loop of birth and death, and it's not taking us anywhere. It's like we are just looping around the same place again and again. Just that the sceneries, the people, the places, maybe the situations are changing, but we are looping in the same cycle again and again. So the main aim of spirituality is to break this cycle. So that's how things are described. And based on this, what accumulated karma refers to is all the karma that has been accumulated in your past lives. All those karma together as a sack is called a Sanchita karma. Sanchita means, Sanji means, it's like a bag in Sanskrit. So it's like the accumulation of all the past life karmas together, the sanchita karma. Certain karma means what? Consequences, the consequences of certain actions. So these consequences or this karma happen to ripen. Ripen means it's time to play it out, right? It's time to play it out. So this ripened karma is what is allotted to a particular lifetime. So you have the Sansita karma, and from that, a ripened portion of karma is allotted to you in this lifetime. So whatever is happening to you in this lifetime is the allotted karma. Like it's the foreign concept to Western people. That's why there's no words for things, specific things in English. So allotted karma is again divided into actionable karma in the present and actionable karma in the future. It might sound complicated, but it simply means at this particular moment, you have a particular amount of karma to be played out. At this moment, that consequence must occur. That is actionable karma in the present. The karma that we can act on is called actionable karma in the present. Now, when I perform this actionable karma in the present, for example, let's say in this present moment, I am recording this video. That is my actionable karma in the present. Because I'm recording this video right now, I will be uploading this video in the future. So, uploading this video becomes my actionable karma in the future. Now, if I didn't record this video right now, I won't be uploading anything in the future, right? So, it's like whatever you do in the present, again, leads to a future karma. So, that is actionable karma in the present and actionable karma in the future. So, what I understand from this is that whatever is happening to us right now is a consequence of what we did in the past. So whatever we did in the past is influencing our present moment. And whatever we do right now in the present moment will affect what we do in the future. This is how it is. So we have the sanchita karma or the accumulated karma of lifetimes. From that, a portion of karma is allotted for this lifetime, and this is the allotted karma. And in the allotted karma, we have actionable karma in the present and actionable karma in the future. So this is how it is described in this book. Now, this might feel a bit confusing, but if you rewatch that part, I think you'll get it. Now, another fun fact is that it's not just individual karma. Like the karma is not about individual person. There's something called the collective karma. I have karma, another person have karma, you have karma. Now, if you are together, then we have a collective karma. So everything is happening is not just because of my karma or your karma or others' karma. It's a combination. It's a collective karma. And so whatever is happening in a country or place is a collective karma. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is that there's something called a physical karma or Runanubandha. It's called Runanubandha. It's basically a physical karma, which is mostly based on relationships. It's specific to intimate relationships like between couples, but it also applies to other physical aspects like other physical karma that we accumulate. For example, I think the best example would be, have you ever noticed that a dog or a cat goes in search of a place to sleep? It just finds one place, one spot. It will lie down there. The next day, the cat or a dog will go and sleep in the same place, right? This is because of physical karma. Now that applies to the human beings too. You have seen some people, like in a class, you are seeing that some people will want to always sit at the back, and some people want to sit at the middle or some at the front. You see, if the first day of your class, you will be going and sitting in one place, one particular seat. The next day, your tendency is to go and sit in that same position. Have you ever noticed that? Like, I literally realized that I do the same. Like, last day, I was getting onto a bus, and I realized that whenever I got onto a bus, I always sit on the right side. Like, we have seats on both sides, right? If there's a bus, we have seats on both sides, like right and left. But I always sat at the right side. I never sat in the left. Then the moment I realized that, I wanted to break this pattern and I just move on to the left side. So I want you to observe yourself and see how you're working, the patterns, the ways you do, the things you do. And again, if you have noticed, you will see that It's like some parts of your body don't move according to your will. Like it just doesn't listen to you, right? It's because of your karmic accumulation or karmic memory. Like some other people may be able to do it, but you are not able to do it, right? You have seen that. For me, some steps, some dance moves doesn't fit me. Like however I tried it, I couldn't get it right. Now someone is very nice, someone is very calm, someone is very hyperactive. So everything depends on this karmic accumulation. And because of this karmic accumulation, they tend to act a certain way. I have been observing myself and people around me and it feels real. So I feel like whatever is being said is true to whatever extent I have observed things. So what I want you to do is to observe yourself and other people and try to understand these things. Try to explore these things. So when you do this, you'll see that your perception of life changes. You will start dealing with situations differently. And there are certain, tools or devices or certain things that you can do to break out of their karmic tendencies, and it's been described in this book. And also, one of the main reasons of doing meditation, yoga, these must be from a legit source, okay? Not from some random YouTube video or some random book. If it's from a legitimate, an authorized source, like it will help you break your karmic limitations. So that's the main reason of meditation. We think meditation is just to make us calm, make us less stressful, or reduce your anxiety. So meditation is about breaking these karmic limitations. So one big takeaway from this podcast, no matter who you are, is that whatever is happening to you is because of your karmic tendencies, and whatever the other people are doing is because of their karmic tendencies. So it all depends on how you respond to situations and how you handle yourself. And to break out of this karmic limitations or karmic tendencies is to try to break the karmic tendencies step by step, little by little. So if you feel like eating junk food right now, you can eat it, but what you have to do is wait for some time. Don't do it compulsively. Don't go just grab it and eat it up already. Just wait for 2 minutes before you eat it. In that way, you are becoming conscious of your compulsions and you're trying to break your limitations. And if you can't do something, you have to try to do it again and again and try to break it. Let's say if you find it hard to speak to someone, then you have to try to break it and try to speak. If you are not able to do a certain thing, a certain wherever it may be, like try to do it. When you try to do it, you are just breaking your karmic limitations. You're breaking your karmic tendencies, and that's how you break out of this system, and that's how you are going to make your own life. Like you are going to take charge of your life. So start with taking small steps. Just write down something what you want to break today. A little step every day so that you can break out of your patterns and create the life you want. So if you found this podcast helpful, do rate this, drop a like, comment your experiences, comment your observation, comment what you think, and subscribe if you haven't yet because I'll be sharing more things like this which will help you in your personal growth. And have a beautiful day, and thank you for watching.